I look forward to after football and achieving everything that I want to achieve in terms of trophies. I do look forward to having another career and enjoying, I suppose it's like a new phase of life after you play football.
Alessia, first question for you. What does football mean to you?
I mean, football has always been everything to me since I can remember. It was always football, what I wanted to do. Just like my passion has always been football and just enjoyment. Like I have so much fun out on the pitch from such an early age to now. And although things are a lot more serious these days, football has always meant to me that love of the game and being introduced to it as a kid.
Are you still able to keep that same love, that same kind of childish enjoyment now, or has it changed as you've had more success?
I try to. It is hard when like it is so intense and it's like there's so much on the line all the time, but I always say that I play my best football when I am enjoying it and I'm free and I'm in a good place mentally. So yeah, I try and keep as much of that love because ultimately that's why we play, that's why I started, that's why I'm so grateful and happy to be able to do it every day now.
What's your first memory of playing?
I have two older brothers and I used to play with them in the garden all the time, and my dad coached their team, so I used to always go down to the local park with them and always try and get involved. They were a bit older than me and an all-boys team, so I had to bide my time a little bit. I was just kicking the ball around on the side, and then I eventually was allowed to join in. I come from such a sporty family and my mum and dad never ever questioned me playing football, which I'm so grateful for. Ever since I was a kid, they were buying me football boots and football kits, and I think I lived in a football kit as a kid. I think my mum was happy when I wanted the odd dress here and there, but no, they never ever thought that football wasn't a place for girls, which was amazing for me, and which is why I feel so fortunate to have come from the family that I have.
And what are your early memories of playing then? Can you still remember like some of the other girls, or maybe boys, or was it just girls?
Originally it was just boys.
Were you the only girl?
Yeah, but I was really grateful that the group of boys that I was with, I went to school with as well. Like they were in my primary school, so I knew a lot of them. And I think at first, like they were a bit like, why is a girl joining? But then for me, it was like a place to prove myself. I always had to be good enough to play with them and compete with them. And I liked that challenge of it. And I wanted to test myself against the boys who were bigger and stronger.
Can you remember the point where you thought, or people around you started to make you aware of just how good you were?
I think it was probably when after I played at West Farleigh, I went to Bearsted, which was again an all-boys team, and then they had an all-girls team as well. So I played with the boys on the Saturday and the girls on the Sunday. I think then my coach made me feel like I had potential, which was nice. He was very still harsh on me and wanted me to be training harder and be playing harder, but I just had a feeling that he thought that I could go somewhere. And then when I went to school, at secondary school, my teachers really pushed me and got me into county teams and academy trials. So it was honestly the belief of other people before myself.
Can you remember any of those academy trials, or maybe ones that didn't go as well as you'd have hoped?
I had to trial at Charlton. That was actually a really good trial. I think I've had one of the best sessions of my life. After that, I think the coach spoke to my dad and said we'd like to offer her a place in the academy, and Dad told me on the way home, which was really nice.
And Charlton, did you go and watch Charlton's women's team
Yeah.
when you were younger? What was that like?
I remember when I was in the academy, I was a mascot for Casey Stoney because she was the captain at Charlton at one point in time. And I remember being in the tunnel thinking like, wow, this is amazing. And if you look now to what girls get to look up to and in the stadiums that we play at and the amount of fans that we have is just crazy to see how far the game's developed. So young girls can really have role models that they can feel and see their journey.
If I had to put you on the spot and ask for one person who's had the most influence on your career, maybe a coach or someone that's done something to get you to this point today?
I had a couple of really, really influential teachers at my school. One was Luke Anderson and one was Mr. Holliday, who sadly passed away. But they both set me up for county trials in school, and they just like took me under their wing. I think I went into like the PE office in my lunch breaks and just sat with them, and they were just so, they just wanted me to do so well and would give anything for me to be successful out on the pitch. And the teacher that passed away, Mr. Holliday, he used to really embarrass me because I'd play with the boys and the girls in school, and he used to just tell all the boys to pass it to me. But that was mortifying for me. Like, I hated that. Like,
why?
In front of all the boys, that's embarrassing.
Shows you're pretty good though.
Yeah, it does, but I still got embarrassed about it. But he was great. He used to like make me feel like I was 10 foot tall. And I think as a young girl playing football with the boys and stuff, sometimes you probably needed a little bit of that.
Has there been one particular moment that you think, if that hadn't happened, I might not be here today?
I think when I went to America and played 3 years out in college, I think I was very much a home bird. I used to hate going to my friends for sleepovers because I just wanted to be at home with my family. And that was a big decision for me to go out there, live in North Carolina, the other side of the world, play football in a surrounding that I've never known. And I think it was a really, really tough decision. But when I look back on my life, it was like the best 3 years ever. I learned so much about myself. When you move out anywhere, you have to grow up quickly. And I was on the other side of the world. The only person that I knew there was Lotta, who's with me now, so it's nice to reminisce with her. But I think those 3 years when I went to college just changed me as a person. I also understood a little bit more about myself and my body, and I went through my first injury out there. And I also learned that football isn't everything, although it does feel like it. I found joy in other things, and I really made friends for life.
At what point did you meet Lotta then?
So I've known Lotta since I was about 12 or 13 through England youth camps, and then she was at Arsenal and I was at Chelsea and Charlton in the academies. She's like the big sister to everyone. She just like knows what to do in like stressful situations. She just handles things so smoothly.
So everyone will probably know that you're best friends with Ella Toone, and Ella Toone sounds quite different to Lotta in that way. So you've got kind of two very different friends when you're away with England and in football in general.
Yeah, for sure. Lotta's like my big sister, or more like my mum, and Tooney is like my younger sister, and just like, you know, the one that makes you laugh and's annoying and you just got to look after, whereas Lotta's always looking after everyone else.
And what was it like coming back?
Yeah, I came back and signed at United.
Because you were a United fan growing up, right?
Yeah, I was. And yeah, I never thought they'd be interested in me, a kid coming out of college. It was just this whole new world of being like a full-time athlete. And that college time and that time at United was a really impactful part of my journey.
And you went a bit full circle, didn't you? Because you mentioned Casey Stoney. Was she the manager that signed you at Manchester United as well?
Yeah, she was, yeah. And I think when I signed, they put out photos of me like holding Casey's hand, walking out the tunnel, and then me signing with her. So that was a full circle moment. But Casey was amazing for me when I signed at United, and she made it really clear what she wanted from her players, and for me to be introduced to a first pro team, it made that transition really smooth.
If you could relive one match from your career, and you can change the outcome if you want, what would it be?
The World Cup final against Spain. Yeah, it just hurt a lot after winning the Euros and knowing how that felt, to then get so close to the World Cup but then so far away at the same time was tough and left a hole in us as a team. But the way that we bounced back in the Euros maybe wouldn't have happened if we won. So I feel like everything happens for a reason.
Okay, let's flip the question. If you could relive one match and the outcome stayed the same, what would it be?
I'm going to say the Euro 22, just because that whole year and that tournament and the impact that changed after that win was just something that we could never have imagined. So I think the whole process of winning that tournament in England, and then seeing the change, seeing the growth of the game, seeing everyone kind of become a fan of women's football after that, was something that I'll always live with. And I think that the impact that we had in that tournament, for every player in that squad will tell you that it was more than we ever imagined, and we were just in our little bubble. Me and Tooney talk about it a lot, going from no one really knowing us to then pretty much overnight you're this England footballer that suddenly has won the Euros, and Paps are after you, and you're getting these amazing opportunities that you would never have imagined pre-tournament. I think for both of us, like that whole tournament just completely changed our lives.
For you in particular, you started that tournament, and of course Ellen White was still playing then as well, but you went into that probably knowing you weren't going to start, and then you score a goal that's up for the Puskas Award, you win the Euros, you score some goals that changed the course of England's tournament.
I think for me, I just wanted to soak up every moment. I'd heard from a lot of the older girls that it's really intense and it's tough, and obviously you're away from home and there's good times and bad times throughout a tournament, and I just wanted to enjoy every day. Like, I knew I wasn't going to be involved that much, especially in the starting 11, so I wanted to train really hard and just be ready for anything.
How many times have you watched that goal back?
Not for a long time, actually. It was weird, and it's so funny because I'm not really like a skillful player. I'm more like a knock it and run, or like I'm not like a Chloe Kelly's like quite a skillful player. I'm not really a skillful player. So that moment for me was just like, yeah, it was just so instinctive.
That says so much about you that you've just literally said, I'm not a skillful player. You're obviously incredibly humble, but that's a wild thing to say. You've won the Euros twice.
Yeah, but I mean, like, some players are like really techie with like step overs and stuff. And
all you care about is scoring, you don't care
how it goes in, it doesn't matter. I always say in that tournament, Serena gave us such freedom to express ourselves, and I think that I wouldn't normally do that. Like, you don't do a back heel for fun. Like, you do it if the moment's right, and I think that the confidence that she instilled in us was really cool.
Okay, let's talk about you as a person a little bit more now. Family are clearly incredibly important to you. Talk to me about your relationship now with your brothers and what it's like, because they're involved in football, and obviously one of your brothers was on Love Island. That's the kind of headline, so it's quite a unique family dynamic, I imagine.
Yeah, it is random. Giorgio obviously went on Love Island this year, which was...
How was that for you?
At first it was weird. I was like, I couldn't watch it because obviously we were away at the Euros. I couldn't watch it in a big group because I just needed to like watch it on my own. So me and Tooney just went off and watched it every night, just us two. But he did great. He's a lovely guy. And
he's come out of it with a lot of credit, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's a lovely person, and he did really well, and that's all you can ask for as a sister. And then my other brother, he's involved in football. He's my agent, actually. So they've always been a massive part of me as a person, and also my journey. I value their opinions. I talk football with them, probably not as much as they want me to. Same with my dad, but they're involved in the whole journey of me as a player, and I always want to try and make them proud.
And your dad, he was a police officer, is that
Yeah,
right?
he was.
Was he quite strict growing up?
Yeah, I always say to him, like, as he gets older, he becomes like so much softer. Like, he's a big softie now, but when I was a kid, he was strict.
And he sends you messages before and after games, doesn't he? What kind of things does he say?
He sends me a message before every game, and it's like a long text, and has the date of the game, who we're playing, and then just maybe like a few key things that he thinks that I've been working on, or that I've been doing well, or anything. It's just like a little bit of a motivational message, and then he'll send me like a quote or something. It's the police officer in him. He has to be like organised with things.
And he has a little phrase that he says to you when you say goodbye to him.
Yeah, he always says, and at the end of the messages, he puts BTB, which like means be the best you can be in whatever you do.
Oh, that's nice. You sound an incredibly close family. If you could only achieve one more thing in your career or in your life, what would it be?
Oh, that was such a hard question.
Lucy straight away went win the World Cup,
Yeah,
which I know.
that's the first that comes to mind.
But is there anything else? Is there anything like further down the line? Or do you even think, I know you're still so young,
Yeah.
do you even think beyond football at this point?
I do. It's hard in the moment because like it's so intense. When you're in football, all you want to do is win all the trophies that you can. But one day after football, I'd love to have another career after, because obviously we can't play forever. I'd love to have children and live on a beach somewhere, and I'd love to have my own vineyard and live like in Italy and just like with my family and have loads of kids and just switch off and just be away from football and just watch it for fun and enjoy life, like a whole nother life. But I don't think that'll ever happen.
Why not?
I don't know, but I look forward to after football and achieving everything that I want to achieve in terms of trophies. I do look forward to having another career and enjoying, I suppose it's like a new phase of life after you play football.
I can tell you that beach baby, don't do it. As someone that's got a baby, you won't be doing that. Do that bit after, especially the vineyard, but you'll need the vineyard. Alessia, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.